All right, let's dive into something that connects some of the most baffling mysteries from history and science. What if they're not just random oddities, but pieces of one giant puzzle? And honestly, the picture it paints is, well, it's pretty unsettling, but it might just change how you see, well, everything.
So we're going to start with a really simple but super important idea. Question the official story. Don't just take the history in the textbooks or the science on the news at face value. You've got to look at the evidence for yourself and ask, do these pieces really fit together? So let's just jump right in with the first big, wild question. What if this reality, everything we touch and see, isn't real in the way we think it is? What if it's more like a super advanced simulation, a meticulously designed program running on some kind of cosmic hard drive?
And what if that whole program is about to get a massive system update? A total recalibration of everything we know. I mean, what would the signs of something like that even look like? To find out, we don't need a telescope. We just have to look at the world right in front of us, but with a totally new perspective. You see, the thing is, our world is just littered with these mysteries that completely defy the neat and tidy timelines we're taught. We're talking structures that seem absolutely impossible for their time. Technologies that look like they're centuries ahead of when they were supposedly built. These aren't just fun little curiosities, they are direct challenges to our entire story of the past.
Okay, take this for example, the 1901 World's Fair in Buffalo. The main attraction was this thing, the Electric Tower, an incredible, magnificent structure with these huge waterfalls, all powered by Niagara Falls. The official story? Oh, it was just a temporary party decoration, torn down only 6 months later. But I mean, look at it. The sheer scale, the complexity. Does that really look temporary to you? Or does it look like something much older, much more permanent that we were just told to forget? Okay, now let's jump way back in time. On the left, that's a carving from the ceiling of an ancient Egyptian temple. And on the right, that's a diagram of a modern turbine. The resemblance is, well, it's uncanny. You have to wonder, is it possible our modern tech isn't new at all, but just us rediscovering something? Us reverse engineering knowledge left behind by a civilization that was lost to time.
And it doesn't stop there. Look at this. On the left, you've got the top-down floor plan of the Osirian Temple in Egypt. On the right, a schematic for a computer processor. Is that just a wild coincidence? Or are we looking at ancient architecture that's also a blueprint, a kind of symbolic guide for a technology we're only just now starting to understand again?
But this stuff isn't just ancient history, folks. Fast forward to October 2024. A U.S. Reaper drone locks onto a UAP and fires a Hellfire missile. This thing is designed for maximum destruction. And what happened? The missile hits the object and just bounces off. Like it hit some kind of invisible wall. The UAP was totally fine. It just kept on going, completely defying our laws of physics and the best military tech we have.
So think about it. If physical stuff is breaking our rules, what does that say about the rules themselves? Our fundamental understanding of the universe? Well, it turns out the very foundations of modern science are starting to look a little shaky. We're seeing some serious cracks.
Get this, scientists have actually created something they call a time crystal. To put it simply, it's a form of matter that's in a state of perpetual motion without using any energy. This thing literally breaks one of the most fundamental laws of physics we have, which suggests our entire understanding of time as this straight line that always moves forward might be completely wrong. And now for what might be the most mind-blowing number in all of science. 95%. That's how much of our universe is made of dark matter and dark energy. Stuff we can't see, can't touch, and have absolutely no explanation for. Our entire celebrated map of the cosmos is based on the tiny 5% we can actually observe. We are, quite literally, stumbling around in the dark.
And all of this leads to what scientists are calling a crisis in cosmology, the Hubble tension. See, when astronomers look way back at the early universe, their measurements say it's expanding at one speed. But when they measure the universe closer to us, right now, they get a different number, a faster one, every single time. These two super precise measurements should be the same, but they're not. The math just doesn't add up, which tells us our whole model of the universe is missing something huge.
And that's the whole point, right? When the very bedrock of what we think we know is this incomplete, this fragile, what else might be true? What other realities, what other explanations for everything might be slipping right through those cracks?
So what if we've been looking in all the wrong places? What if the answer isn't in a lab, but in an ancient philosophy that's been suppressed for centuries?
the Gnostics. They saw our world not as our home, but as a complex processing system for consciousness. Basically, a cosmic prison, a matrix.
See, according to the Gnostics, there are basically three kinds of souls, or three levels of awareness, operating inside this system. You've got the Hylic, who are totally plugged in, completely bound to the material world and their five senses. Then you have the Psychic, who starts to feel like something's off, who questions things and struggles against the system. And finally, you have the Pneumatic, the one who sees through the whole illusion and becomes truly free.
But here's the cool part. The Gnostics didn't just say, hey, you're in a prison. They handed over a key, an instruction manual for how to get out. Spiritual alchemy. These 7 stages you're looking at, they're like a symbolic roadmap for hacking your own consciousness. It's a step-by-step process to burn away the ego, dissolve your attachments, and ultimately become totally free from the prison's rules.
Okay, so if we're running with this idea that reality is a meticulously built prison, that begs the question, right? Every prison needs wardens, so who's managing this place?
And this is where things get really, really weird and connect back to today. In 2020, a very high-level Israeli official came out and made this incredible claim. Now, in our theory, this so-called Galactic Federation isn't necessarily a benevolent group of saviors. They could be those psychic-level managers we talked about. Technologically super advanced, sure, but not spiritually free. They're just middle management, basically, tasked with keeping this cosmic recycling plant running smoothly.
So how would they keep everyone in line? Simple. You rewrite history. The theory suggests a 2-stage reset. First, way back around 10,000 BCE, a massive cataclysm wiped out a spiritually advanced, pneumatic civilization and buried all their knowledge. Then, much more recently, a phantom time period of almost 300 years was supposedly just inserted into the Dark Ages. Why? To cover up the gaps, to hide the truth about our real, deep past.
Okay, so where does all of this leave us right here, right now? All these different threads, the ancient anomalies, the cracks in science, the Gnostic philosophy, a hidden history, they all seem to be converging on this single critical point in time, a moment of choice. It seems humanity is standing at a major fork in the road. Path number 1, we can take all this recovered UAP technology, the physical hardware, and use it to get even better at controlling the material world, which in the end just reinforces the prison, building a fancier cage. Or there's path number 2, the Gnostic way. We can focus on the internal technology of consciousness to achieve real freedom and just walk out of the prison altogether.
And that leaves us with one last massive question. For you, for me, for all of us. Is our reality just a pre-programmed loop, a memory of a system that's just designed to recycle us over and over? Or do we actually have the power to break that cycle, to grab the pen, write our own code, and build a future that's genuinely new? The choice, as this whole theory suggests, is ours.